Thank you all for coming. I call the meeting to order. If you're able, please stand to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. First things first, as we do our public comment, we have 10 minutes, 3 minutes a person. Would anyone like to speak? Miles, okay.
I would like to speak, please.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to make two comments regarding issues that we continue to have regarding the paving of Texas Hill Road and more importantly, the process around the decision making that the board and the gift committee undertook. One, I'd like to note for the record that the decision was made with a lack of facts. There was no road survey done. There was no traffic survey done. There was no resident survey done. This was done under the guise of, the decision was made under the guise of public safety. There was no consultation with an independent certified road engineer on the ability of safety vehicles to access the road. There was a lot of conjecture that the road is unsafe, unsupported by evidence, conjecture about multiple persons who were opposed, although somehow they didn't want to go on record. We live on the road. I'm not aware of any person, let alone multiple residents, that's opposed. And something about climate change, which we certainly didn't take into account the road URIC and the use of petroleum-based products to chip seal. Yes, it is an emulsion, but it's an emulsion done with petroleum. By the way, now we have traffic diverting onto Texas Hill because of the closure of Route 23, and it has become a public safety issue. The roadbed is unstable. We have 4 to 5 times the traffic we typically have, admittedly by my observation. But I witnessed a near collision in front of my house with a postal service because of the blind curves that were there, and we all cannot now walk the road. The second issue I want to raise is lack of transparency. The public process really lacked any material public interaction, ability to ask questions other than by email, which, while that's discoverable, is barely in the public purview. With that, there was a lack of transparent process. And while we tried to ask questions and get more information about what the process was, that process kept changing. I ultimately received an email from the supervisor at 5 o'clock asking me to provide details and information by 10 o'clock the following morning. That's 2 business hours. That is in the least disingenuous, if not disrespectful. This process resulted in a gift from a farm owner with means, but overrode the vast majority of a committed subsection of residents. Taking a gift, the town took a gift, quote unquote, while proclaiming the roads are all for the public, but that this road had a public safety issue. I fear for the precedent that this sets for other groupings of residents who have legitimate concerns within the town of Hillsdale that will be overridden by a council that can exercise too much authority, or at least do so with lack of transparency. Thank you for the opportunity to note this for the record.
Thank you. Would someone else like to speak? Okay.
So Amy Davidson, and I just wanted to add to Miles. I think he covered most of the things that we on Texas Hill Road are concerned about. I would also like to just say that the gift committee process again was a little difficult, to say the least. We were told that we could resubmit a gift, and we've been actively working on getting the letters from all of the 20 taxpayers on the road. And everyone should be aware that some of those taxpayers we only have mailing addresses for. So that would be, obviously, would take some time, and we've been never given guidance or a timeline for this process. But now reading the agenda of this meeting, it appears that this will get approved, our gift will be denied, and we will be sort of not able to have any recourse. I'd also like to say that the issue about the safety, really, as Miles was raising, it seems like the town is more concerned about sort of specious arguments about the safety of the first responders. Of course, we care about that, but those are infrequent. Residents live on this road daily. Making a road dirt, the traffic speed is going to increase significantly, which impacts us daily. So it just seems not to be a concern. You seem to be concerned about everybody else except for those on Texas Hill Road. Regarding the finances, again, I noticed in the gift committee minutes that there's a quote that comparisons of what has been spent under budgetary constraints are not relevant to this conversation. I understand where you guys are coming from, but at the same time, you have presented to the public that there have been hundreds and thousands of dollars of savings since 2012 based upon numbers that have never been spent. We were just asking for historical records and we've never received them. We also have never received the cost it is to maintain a chip sealed road. We don't know what that is, so we're not comparing apples to apples. And it's very difficult to operate without that kind of transparency. Let me just see, I know I have a couple other things I want to say. Raising the issue about the carbon footprint again in the minutes. There was no comparison where you cannot make a claim and you don't do the actual work about that. And we're really concerned about extreme rainfall. Extreme rainfall will wash out our roads whether they're paved or not. There is no difference between them. And if we're really concerned, then the money under the 284 could have been reallocated to the two culverts that need to be right-sized on Breezy Hill and Mitchell Street. That's where the concern is, and the money was available under CHIPS. Lastly, I would just like to move to a different topic, which is the what I see in the agenda, which is the approval, and electric here, the approval of the 284 agreement amendment, because the work has already been done. So basically we're backdating or retroactively approving work that has already been, money that's been spent and work that has been done under the 284 agreement. I'm there, I'm on the road, I can see it, so I can leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 3 more minutes in public comment. Would someone like to speak? Jeff. Mr. Page, sorry.
I've been attending board meetings for more than 25 years. And when I heard that we were limited, public was limited to 10 minutes of public comment per meeting, that blew me away. Because when you have 20 people come in wanting to talk about something like this, Texas Hill, you're not going to hear all 20 people. You're going to hear 2 or 3 people, and that's the end of the time. It should be flexible at least based on how many people are there. You can say, okay, we can't talk more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And then you could cut it down, but limiting it the way it is, the people that live on Texas Hill Road really didn't get a chance to have their say about what's going on their road. And it was suggested to this committee, the board, that if you're going to do this again next year, survey all those who live on dirt roads, and then find out which ones want it. Do them first, and then they can decide if they don't want it to go through the gift committee, which to me is more like extortion, because you're already paying the money to maintain, it's already in the budget to maintain our dirt road. And it's, asking us to pay double the money to maintain our road, which is already figured into the budget as a dirt road, and how much they're gonna have to maintain. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. We have a minute left. Someone wants to avail themselves?
Hello, I'm Nicole. My husband Ben and I moved to the town very recently. This is our first time coming to the town meeting. Very grateful to attend and hear what is going on.
Welcome to Hillsdale. Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing section of the meeting. Moving on, approval of the minutes, motion to approve the June 30th public hearing minutes. Can I get a motion, please? Erwin, offered by, can I get a second, please? Joanna Verillo, any discussion on the public hearing minutes, which are pretty fair? Hearing none, all in favor? Erwin, Verillo, Dvorak, Bell, Karan. Thank you. Motion to approve the special town board meeting minutes of June 30th. Can I get a motion, please?
Sure.
Erwin, can I get a second? Tiger, any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna start with the county report. I'm not sure if you've been reading the papers. There's stuff going on in the county. Basically, there is a law, the Alternative County Government Law. It was created in 1952. It has never been used. There is no precedent for this. But 4,000 signatures were gathered and submitted to the Board of Supervisors. The signatures were challenged, and I believe 1,600 were deemed not worth, that's the wrong word, not, what's the word there, not valid. Thank you. So this is basically yeah. Well, that's for the judge to decide at this moment. The court date is July 22nd, next Tuesday. We will know more then. And so keep posted. Just for the record, I am not running for county executive, nor do I have any interest. Just FYI. But it's interesting times at the Board of Supervisors. Okay, the financials. Okay, since we're at the 50% mark of the year, I thought we'd take a little time with these. First thing I wanted to go through was the budget to actual. We're pretty good. There's maybe one line that is problematic, which we are going to discuss in the budget amendment, which is port contractual. One line does seem to be way over, and that's what was that, town information, but we at one of the budget amendments, we reclassified that into a new, so that's actually fine. So unless anyone has any questions about something above 50%, I think we're pretty good for the halfway through mark. The other thing I wanted to go through was the funds available. General fund cash with the investment and the checking, we're at basically $1.5 million, which sounds great and is great. A couple things on the horizon. We're going to talk about the salt shed reserve in a minute. That's about $107,000. Light pole relocation, we're going to talk about later also. We recorded $150,000. West End Bridge match is $54,000. We have a down payment on a new truck, which I believe is $83,000. We still have sales tax to come in, which sales tax is, it's been great these last couple of years. I don't know what it's going to be, so that's something we will keep an eye on. But that having been said, that totals about $400,000, which is, we still have plenty of reserve. Patterson, our accountant, recommends half a year to a full year, which still we're way above that. One thing I do want to flag, and I know Jamie has flagged this before, is the cost of the West End Bridge. This is a big unknown. This is materials, and we're just going to have to see where we are when we actually build the bridge. But that's something to keep in mind. Anybody have any questions about the financials? Okay, thank you for that. On to the budget amendment. We need to actually move the money into the salt shed reserve. So we passed the resolution, resolution number 59, to have that total 150K. So we need to put another 107K in there because there's 42 in there already. So there's that. We are over $84 in traffic control contractual. It's a line we've never used. It's odd that we used it. They were for the yield sticker on the yellow crosswalks. That was a safety issue. And, I guess Bob Patterson caught this. I did not realize there was a separate line for that. We put it in building. So we were over $84. And then court contractual. I did link to what the court has spent this year. I do want to point out that court is actually below budget, just not in contractual. Their personal service, which is Elizabeth and then Peter, they're only, Elizabeth is at 34% for half the year and Peter's at 22%. I can't take it from a personal service line, that's just a rule. But both Elizabeth and Peter are very conscientious and do not want extra hours if they're not working. So while they are at 81% of core contractual, overall, they're below 50%, but I don't want this line to go over. So looking at these charges, the budget buster was for the professional audit. There were issues with the previous court administration, so we did think it wise to have Robert Patterson really come in and really tighten procedures, which he did, and Elizabeth has done. Also coming up, they have a case which requires a translator, which those bills have not come in yet. So again, overall, they are below budget, but I would like to make a motion that as part of the budget amendment to take $1,000 from contingency into court contractual, so we don't go over. Can I get a motion to approve the budget amendment? Motion from Joanna, can I get a second? Mr. Tiger, discussion, please. Okay, all in favor?
Yay.
Sorry.
Sure, go ahead.
So the resolution, 2025-59, you
Mhm.
mentioned this, but could you just,
Sure.
reference that again for me?
Sure, it's the salt shed reserve fund. We had the public meeting.
Okay,
And this is for current, it must be, somebody do the math, it must be 25%, 600,000, 25% is 150. And that's, we're talking about submitting the salt shed grant this evening, just makes it stronger.
okay, so this is to increase our match for that grant application.
No, the match remains the same, 150. I just have not literally moved the 107 from
Oh,
our,
I see.
yeah, it's taking that
Sorry.
next step.
Some back and forth with this.
Yeah, so we're making the salt shed reserve fund whole, and it'll be for 150. Okay, all in favor?
Alright.
Unanimous, thank you. Do you want us to sign that? Thank you. Yay, salt shed. Decades in the making. Get that salt out of the waterway. Okay, town clerk report, for being award, please.
Emily's working on the newsletter, it knows. We're continuing with the licenses and staff updating the website. I've been working on reimbursements for the Finchley grant and the Barrett grant, which were up to date as of today. We worked on the Arenco system in the shed on Friday for 2 hours, getting boiled to death.
Good.
We're setting up an STR database for the towns. What else? We're setting up a highway file, and we're working on. We're working on a program to digitize our vital records. So we should get pricing that at some point.
Okay,
But we will go for a grant.
okay, that was a pretty heavy lift grant.
It's, yeah, but with this, it'll help us,
Okay,
because this is a source, it's
okay, any due date on that?
what's it?
Was it revolving? I think it's revolving.
It's January, yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
this
it
is,
starts in January, we've got like 3 weeks.
Okay, all right. Well, anything we can do to help the prep, let us know.
Rubina, can you just speak to the filing of CHIPS documentation that has come up in a number of meetings, and I think there are some people here that have.
It's on the
requested
website.
that in writing.
It's on the website underneath the utility bills. Right.
No, I mean, you just mentioned that you're updating the CHIPS documentation at town hall.
So whatever's on the website is in a, starting the book downstairs.
Okay, so what is here now and what is still missing?
We have, I think I explained it in the email. We have 2019 through 24.
I think so.
We're waiting on 25 and CHIPS filing, and we have two articles going back to 2018, and we're only required to keep them for 6 years.
Okay, and everything that was filed for the last, what did you say, 6 years or something, that's available here and on the website?
It's on the website.
It's on the
It's been on the
website.
website. For
Okay,
weeks.
yeah, no, I know, I received your
Yeah,
email,
yeah.
just for clarification for
Yeah.
everyone.
So it's on the website. We can only retrieve that much because there isn't anything else to retrieve.
Okay,
2,000 is what's on the website, so.
so
Or
the,
2020.
so okay, so the county level office for the Department of Transportation only had those.
It's not the county, it's the state.
I know it's a state entity, but we were corresponding with the county level office. The Columbia County Department of Transportation.
Like we're working with
the
New York
office.
State, but she's.
Yeah.
In charge of this district. Right.
Oh, it's in Poughkeepsie,
Right.
okay, I know it's not county, it's a regional office,
Right.
okay, sorry.
So it's a regional office of the state.
Oh,
And she gave us what we have and which is on the website and is in the book downstairs. And that's all that she can give us.
Okay.
They're only required to keep it for 6 years.
They're only required
The
to.
town is supposed to have kept it for 36 years, but it's never been kept prior to this administration.
Yep. Okay.
okay, thank you for clarifying.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, we're gonna move on to the sewer.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, sorry.
Chips and even further. So there's 3 forms. There's chips, there's extreme winter recovery,
Yeah.
and there's paving, and they all go together.
Okay.
And they're all 3 different
And
forms.
80 are copper.
And potholes.
There's
Oh, so all of those programs are, the information is retained in the same
Yeah.
way, okay, got it, thank you.
So that's why there's duplication.
Okay, I'm asking just because this was brought up in a public meeting, so not everyone saw our email.
We are trying our damnedest, we had 0 to 60, but
No,
yes.
thank you.
Can't recreate what.
Yeah, but no, I think now that we're on Microsoft and we've entered the digital age and we've got work to do. And there'll be other stuff, there just will be, but thank you to our clerk's office for doing the digging. Okay, sewer. I have some good news. Michelle Hinchy and Dee Dee Barrett have come through again. Truly obnoxious ask on our part. What can I say? They gave us 250 last year. And they're giving us 300 this year, so that's $500,000 plus 50K, 50,000. I can't thank these two legislators enough. They heard the particular challenges of a small sewer district of having only 60, 70 people be on the line for what is a multi-million-dollar enterprise. It's designed to fail. But they heard us. We were unfortunate that we had 2 catastrophes and legitimate. We weren't making this up. This was the emergency situation. It continues to be, which made our case obviously a bit, easier to sell. But thank you to Michelle and Dee Dee. I want to go through this. You should have this piece of paper. because I don't ever want to go into a sewer debt, which we might, most likely will have to a bit without being fully transparent. The sewer fund, current asset is $19,000, which is very low, but tomorrow we're expecting a check for $78,000 as part of the Barrett grant to be reimbursed for the panel and fabrics. So that'll take us back up. Rabina's been working very hard. She just put in the final Barrett 2024 reimbursement papers. And you're about to put in the first
I sent
Hinchy,
it.
you sent it, sent for the first Hinchy 2024, so, we will, at the end of the day, we'll be getting back, we've got back some of this, 125K from both. So when you do, how can I explain this? We currently have 20K in the kitty, we owe 93 to the town from the previous sewer debt, and we did take a $78,000 bridge loan. And then you add in all the stuff that we're gonna be reimbursed for, which is $155,000. Add that to the 19, take away 93, which leaves us with a balance of $80,000, which is our true balance. That's down about $30,000 from the previous month because we did pay the yearly loan, which is $30,000. However, Ravina is about to send out the quarterly billing. I'm
But so,
just gonna say Ravina did everything.
July first.
Okay, it's out. So that should increase the coffers
25.
25. So we'll be back up to 105. So just keep that number in mind, 105K, because it's gonna be important. Because now we're gonna talk about the projected cost of this rehabilitation, which, with the kind help of the highway department to do the hauling and saving us a substantial, bit of money, almost, over $100,000 actually. CPL is estimating 478, let's call it. Okay, I did not make a spreadsheet for this. All in.
Rehabilitate the.
Rehabilitate, that includes a contingency of 15%.
Yeah,
Which I think we're gonna use because George was like, there's a pump that's bad.
Right.
And it's like, okay, there goes the contingency.
yeah.
So let's call it 478. Edie and Michelle, 300. So we're down to 178.
Yeah,
I think, if you go back to this sheet with the Hinchy Grant 2024, we're currently at 56 that we've spent, with 125 to go. We probably have about 40, yeah, 50. I'm just gonna call it 100K, which means we're gonna have 25K left. That's a conservative estimate. We still have bills coming in. Okay, so where was I? 178. Okay, so now we're 153. I just said we had 105 in the kitty, so we're gonna be down about $50,000. Which is not the end of the world. We can make that up with EDUs within a year, year and a half. There's no choice
What do
there.
you think about that?
Sure.
Because at the current billing of
Mhm.
EDUs, that's just to cover maintenance, right?
Theoretically,
That just
although,
covers our operating.
But what it's been doing is we've been paying out little pieces here and there for certain fixes. Because the system was failing, we didn't know how bad it was failing. So the outgoings were quite high.
Oh, you're saying the maintenance costs are going to be lower?
Yeah.
what, yes.
Oh, really?
No,
Yeah,
Oh, believe me, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, they should be, I mean, look, anything is better.
just want to clarify.
Sure, sure.
So the budget says cost estimate for Hillsdale wastewater replacement beds, but actually. So that's just the replacement bed.
Yes,
But actually what CPL's scope included the entire sewer district, in which they said had many more problems than just the wastewater replacement.
right,
So just to be clear.
yes.
That when we talked, I don't know what was just said, but.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
No,
we
no,
were kind of I mean, we were excited and we were saying that, this covers everything, but this does not cover.
No, it
no,
doesn't.
but,
It doesn't, but
but,
what we're not going to be covering is these huge maintenance costs.
Right.
Because the plant should run perfectly, given
Right,
all the stuff that we purchased, the curtains, everything.
It's a whole new system.
It's a whole new.
well, it's a whole new,
still gonna have the maintenance costs of,
Well, but
of
it's
everything that goes.
true.
Before.
Yeah,
the fact.
absolutely, absolutely.
And I think looking
But
at that now and projecting what our future operating costs would be.
Right,
Well, we
but
know
here's the
that.
good news, is that
I
Rabina,
think the board should probably review that.
yeah, but that's mitigated by, there was, right before we came in, a 12% increase. And Rabina has streamlined the EDU process that all the bills are being paid on time. So we did, we did have some, obviously, maintenance last year, but the amount that we were taking in, not counting everything that's going down there, far exceeded what the, let's call it daily maintenance, was. So we were running,
We were running under the budget.
but we were running on the budget probably a good 20 to 30,000. And that was from the 12% increase and just better management of, collecting the EDUs and making sure everything is.
The way it works is that we charge EDUs per type of whatever you've got, which is rental. The bills get sent out every quarter, and whoever's in arrears, then it gets put on the list for re-levy to the county. So always the sewer district, if we say we're gonna get $103,000 a year, we'll get $103,000. And that hasn't happened in the past. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, it's just,
Okay,
yeah,
So,
How did you streamline the EDUs?
well, the billing
Yeah.
process,
Yeah.
we did that
Yeah,
in 2021.
yeah,
yeah,
So, but it was never really implemented.
the way it should be.
right.
and CPL, I think it was in their scope of work, but they're like auditing some of these maintenance issues.
It was in their scope of work, and then. The absorption beds took precedent, yeah,
Took that budget, basically.
basically, yeah, I well, it took the time and the budget. We've got a, DEC is
Yeah, we
down on
have
that,
to-
and so, yeah, we wanted to do a complete INI. Influx and input, for INI, anybody help me out? It's basically monitoring the flow, we were gonna do a complete. Study of that for $36,000, which we will still do down the line, but again. Back burner.
Yeah,
So once we were on a level playing field down to plant, then we can start making some more long-term plans.
yeah. I mean, I'm not an engineer, but I certainly wouldn't want wastewater replacement. Bids, or, us to spend this money and then. Have some kind of maintenance issue upstream that,
Yeah,
like, for instance, I mean, off the top of my head, like, the maintenance of grease traps, I see that come through our vouchers. Fairly consistently,
Yeah, every quarter.
right, but an audit might reveal like that, I don't know, are we supposed to be paying for it?
We
yeah,
charge-
it's part of our sewer law that,
Yeah, we
Okay.
we're responsible. The owner's responsible from the line to the tank. And that's where the town is the tank and everything.
Okay.
So, yeah, we are responsible for,
Which is
Okay.
another thing on the EDUs, in the past, they were not charging enough. EDUs for the grease traps. It costs
Oh,
twice as
okay.
much to clean out a grease trap as it does a regular tank.
Right,
So, and we weren't charging for that,
Yeah.
now we are, we have.
I know that's a pitfall with these
Yes.
municipal systems.
especially with new fabric.
Yeah, things
Okay.
get pulled out to Albany.
Okay,
Yeah, but they're now on a quarterly schedule, which
Yeah.
will save the fabrics and save us,
Yep.
yeah, but,
good first step, anyway.
good first step, let's get on solid ground. Also, Mr. Eden is very happy, the smell has dissipated, you
Can
see.
you imagine spending 3 hours in that apartment, that smell?
Yeah, exactly. So, good news, bad news, I don't think we can avoid a small temporary debt, and we'll just have to write to Mr. Tom DiNapoli and explain the situation and throw ourselves on the mercy of, because it's, the law is you can only give a loan to a sewer district that must be paid back in the entirety by end of year, 12/31. We're not gonna be able to do that, but we can't get a loan on the sewer district. There's no other choice. Talked to Patterson about that and said, we're just gonna have to,
And we also reviewed, the EDUs, or
Is that we reviewed in
Yeah.
21?
yeah, there's just a 12%.
And then, and the building
Okay.
inspector is in charge of changing those or adding to that. He's the one that,
oh, it's.
Like if someone has a bathroom, that's his purview to say, yeah,
But I
but-
think the schedule is the,
well, we're gonna, in October, say, do we increase the EDUs, bearing in mind there's just a 12% increase, and what are we looking at? And
yeah,
that's gonna be part of our October budget discussion.
Oh, okay, very good.
Again, it's 60 people who, but that's for October.
Okay.
Okay, okay, highway report, thank you, Richard, for your monthly report. We, do have a gift committee report and a resolution. The gift committee, did review and, is recommending, to decline the gift, so we can, first and second the resolution and then discuss it. So can I get a motion, please? Erwin, can I get a second, please? Tiger, okay, discussion, please.
Yeah, could you just describe, what happened in the gift? I mean, we
Sure.
received some internal correspondence
Yeah.
on this, but we weren't there, so can you describe what happened in?
Sure, it was a public meeting, the public attended, there was a yeah, there was,
Yeah, no,
yeah, there was a template that was created with the very first gift. The edict was this has to be, not complicated for the town. This is not a business we want to be in, so, a template was created that was made public a month before this, gift came in. This gift used a different template.
Which gift used is different.
The Old Taconic Creek Society.
Oh.
So,
So for Texas Hill Road, there was a different template from the one used by. The
Right,
person that
but
owns Apple
the
Tree.
template was not, it's a suggestion, it's not codified.
Right.
It's, this is new in the county, this is new where we are, doing what we can there. Does anybody else have any comments?
No,
I'll just say, I know there, I hear. What's been happening, I do, I have been from the beginning, and I'll say it again. If you look at what happened in New Jersey yesterday. And we now know what happens when 23 closes, and if we do get something like a New Jersey event, 23 will close, that's in a floodplain, so this is. It is a public safety issue, this is a road that is a public road that's, for better or for worse, I didn't make the map, I didn't make the original. It can be a route if 23 is closed in a flooding incident. So I think, having this road in the best possible condition is important. Ooh, that's all I was saying. Okay. Anybody else want to speak?
I think I have many concerns, obviously, about, the gift committee generally.
Okay.
I'm concerned about the ethics of the process. And I also, I think that these issues should be discussed in town board meetings. I do not think that they should be discussed in committee with members of this committee that are not even town board members. I mean,
Well,
it seems like decisions are being made in committee outside the purview and the kind of the direct oversight of, you know, your fellow board members, and I think it could be improved just by bringing these issues before the board in public meetings, in regular town board meetings, where, you know, we could ask questions, we could develop a dialogue with the people who are generously, I mean, this is very generous. People are offering to pay additional money to have their public town road maintenance. I think they deserve a little bit more airtime and respect. And I think our constituents deserve a dialogue from this board and not from I don't know, a non-statutory, I don't even know what to describe. It's not even, it's a single member of our board who is involved in these meetings. So I think it could be improved, and I would ask if you could come up with maybe some solutions to how we might improve the process for next year, because we know that many roads may need to be paved in Hillsdale, right? I mean, you had said that really all roads.
Pavement or chip seal?
Or chip seal, however you want to describe it, chip seal or paved, I mean, there are many roads in
Chip seal
Hillsdale,
roads every year, yes.
right? So why would we want to go through this contentious process again? It doesn't need to be contentious, you know? It's really, it shouldn't be contentious. Everyone, you know, respects everyone's roles, and I just think that, you know, based on this feedback, we can come up with a process that where our constituents feel comfortable. You know, I think if the Texas Hill Road project was a working project, you know, we talk about speed and beauty and character and these type of things. Well, these can be designed into a project. You know, it's not necessarily all about semantics and chip seal versus dirt road. It's about, you know, people wanting to live in a beautiful place, and you know, the highway superintendent provides that, right? The highway department does a wonderful job. I've said it over and over again, a wonderful job maintaining roads in Hillsdale, but here's this opportunity to make sure that we're keeping everyone happy, right? That everyone feels good about living here. So I think there's an opportunity, and, you know, if I can contribute in some way or support that opportunity as a council person, I would do that.
Okay, thank you for those comments. Any other comments? Okay, all in favor of declining the gift? Sorry, Feld, Verla, Dvorchak, Tiger, all against? All against, no? Okay.
I'm abstaining.
Okay, so the motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Next is the
No, can I speak under?
Yeah.
sure.
Thank you very much. It's very interesting that you say that this doesn't need to be contentious. When there are big two things, you know, that would work on both sides. So I do want to say, clarify a couple of things. I'm very happy that we've done the work on Texas Hills. We have been just still working on Texas Hills, and with the recent detour that wasn't ours to have to put in place. There is a lot of traffic on it, and I can imagine a couple of the corners that we have removed or widened with a tractor trailer on the road and car passing. As a highway superintendent, as a fire chief, as a member or ex-member of rescue squad and stuff like that, it is my job. I was elected to do the, you know, to worry about the safety of the people. And that's what I've done to clarify something else that was said earlier in this meeting. I have, and always have been, totally transparent. My records I've gone to the town, gone to the state, gone to wherever. The previous administrations, which, if you've been around here long enough, it's been very contentious with. A couple of past supervisors and stuff, and the town clerk's office, what they did with the highway. Information that they were supposed to file or keep on file. Is not the fault of this administration, is not the fault of myself. And we have, Rabina and I, have worked. Tirelessly. Rabina more than I, to make sure that this stuff, we try to recover this thing. We're at wit's end. Do not, or please do not, keep blaming. Us for not being transparent. Please blame the previous administrators and the previous town clerks and their people. Of what they did with these records. I have really had enough of hearing that we are not, handing over records. We've gone to the state above and beyond, we worked with them to try to come up with these records. Everything is transparent. And it's really sickening to keep hearing this. I'm sorry to say, but I am an elected official and I work for everybody. And I've kept my mouth shut a lot of the time. But when I keep hearing this from certain residents that we have not supplied information. We haven't. It's that the people will not listen to Rabina and I, that we don't have the records. If we could, we would turn them over in a heartbeat because we're tired of these accusations. And then the last thing to clarify is the Texas Hill versus Lockwood. When I measured the road, the part of Lockwood Road that comes out of the corner and goes around was in the 2.1 miles that was approved in my 284 in January. Because of the technicality that came out of one of the meetings, it was remeasured, went by the state inventory. Texas Hill was technically 1.99 miles. The other 0.3 of a mile or thereabouts of Lockwood Road. I separated it. I am not hiding anything from anyone. If you know the road, you know why it's considered Texas Hill.
So just to clarify, I didn't understand this. So to clarify, you're saying that the 284 includes a road other than Texas Hill?
No, it doesn't, because that was taken from your highway budget, that 0.3 of a mile.
Correct.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, there is, that's
Yeah,
not
so-
being
Okay.
pulled from
Is it-
CHIPS money.
Right.
But is it being chip sealed?
Correct, it is.
Okay, so can you tell us, so it goes Texas Hill and then you make a turn north. What is that road?
Lockwood Road.
Lockwood, and so Lockwood Road is also being paved. Or we chip
0.3 is gonna be chip sealed, correct?
0.3.
3/10 is going to be chip sealed. Do you know that the only residents at that intersection along that road had no idea that that their property would have these changes made to it? I mean, this is one of the most stunningly
It
beautiful.
is still
historic
one of the most
properties.
beautiful roads in town.
Okay,
I respectfully disagree with you and your opinion that I'm destroying the earth.
no, never did I say that you were
Well-
destroying the earth. That is incorrect, but what I'm saying is that these people, these landowners didn't know that you were going to do that. Through all of this back and forth and all of these public meetings. Could we have mentioned or, added a note to the 284 or brought it up in one of the meetings that you had intention to
I have been
pave
totally
the other
forthcoming
road?
of that to the Clog Rack line. If you do not pay attention, it's not my fault. I openly admitted that it was a technical mistake because of the way the mapping goes of the road. It has been discussed since January. If you do not listen, it is not my fault.
Okay, I'm gonna take this
Okay, but
down.
Lockwood Road, it was not included on the 284.
Right, because it's not using CHIPS money. let's be clear, we give Richard Briggs, an elected highway superintendent, a yearly budget. What he does with that money is his purview,
Town money.
town money.
No, wait, let's step back there. So you're saying that it's only CHIPS funded projects that are included on a 284, but that's not.
On the permanent,
Hmm.
under permanent, under the second, part of that, yes, it's only CHIPS money.
What, but there's procurement limits. Of course, there's project-based procurement limits in our procurement, law. That's not true. Of
That
course,
is very true.
the town board reviews it,
No,
that.
No.
I. do
that's
not
your
believe this.
opinion, that's not the law, this is where the problem continuously comes from.
So we can pull up the procurement law if you.
Right, no, it's included at the top of the 284 here.
Yeah, it's the budget.
But yeah,
And then it's the permanent, it's the CHIPS amount of money.
right, but you use,
I
For the-
use the regular budget for
right,
my purview,
for your purview.
Yeah.
And you use state,
money for permanent.
no, for, in terms of the procurement policy, you use state contractors or
State
you,
contract.
Right.
Or bidded material, or
right,
everything is up and above board.
okay, so we have budgetary discretion. We can defund the highway department, which we're not going to do, but the one exception is the 284, which requires an agreement between the highway superintendent and the town board, because these
The
are
majority,
permanent.
the majority. of the
Because
time.
these are permanent changes and the state wants to make sure that you're making permanent
Correct.
changes, so, okay. Yeah, did I get a motion to sign the 284 as amended to do that? No.
No.
Can I get a motion? Tiger, second Feld, any further discussion, please? All in favor? Feld, Verla, Dvorak, Tiger, all against? None
Against.
against, okay, thank you. So the motion carries 4-1, thank you. We're gonna move on to event approvals. We have a new local law, we're going to go back and do some cleanup, 7. Thank you, Ken, for your guidance here. It was Ken who first brought up that this is not the way you should be doing it. So thank you. We do have several events that have gone through the process to a certain degree that we will now consider formalizing. So the first thing we would like to do is to put forth a resolution to designate certain temporary special events as type 2 actions under seeker. Can I get a motion, please? Val, can I get a second? Tiger.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Ferrero, sorry. Okay,
Tiger.
Ferrero,
Tiger Verilla.
yeah. Discussion, please. Ken, if you want to speak on this or?
Yeah, I mean, just to, there's a provision in the seeker regulations that. Every agency that acts under seeker has the authority to adopt its own list of type 2 actions. To supplement what's already in the regulations. As long as they're. Determining things that are not going to have significant adverse environmental impacts. And because these are all the things that are under this special events law are very, very highly constrained in the first place, the most significant of them is they are very temporary. They're a maximum of 5 days. Which by its very nature really restricts any impacts, even if they happen, they're very temporary. There's no construction, there's no development, they're basically people coming together. There is one threshold that's referred to in the resolution. That talks about. Where there are large numbers of people being gathered, being attracted to a place or whatever, beyond what would happen. If that continues on for more than a few days, that it would be an indicator of perhaps a significant one, but because these, by the very terms of the law, they can't be more than a few days. That's really the one provision in there that would be most relevant, but, as you know, the law itself. Specifically has conditions. Not more than 5 days, The town board has to determine that the event does not create a public hazard, the location is suitable and appropriate for the event. It will not create a substantial inconvenience or annoyance for the residents or the general public. That it's not being used to circumvent the zoning code. So that you can't be repeatedly using a property that isn't authorized under the zoning code for that. You may have a one-time event there for a couple of days, but you can't, it doesn't become the use of that property. So the very standards of the law tightly constrain these things and make them for very short periods of time.
Right.
So that's all, it's consistent with what even designates the type 2, so that every time someone has a couple day event,
Yeah.
because of the duration and the fact that it's essentially speaking gathering and not.
So for example, like if Cool's Farm had 4 events that were spread out through the year and each one was 4 days, that's not allowed.
That's, you would have to, there is some discretion, you would have to determine whether this is a special event or is it being used essentially to make this a
Music.
venue?
Gotcha.
And if you think that this is something where it's beginning to take on the character of the venue for that kind of thing, then it needs to comply with the zoning, right? We need to go
Like an
in
event.
Yeah.
and get because I think in the past, these things have been treated as incorrectly as special use permits, but special use permits are in perpetuity. And it doesn't make any legal sense for someone to come in and get a special use permit for something that's gonna end in 2 days.
Right. And it doesn't affect the property
Well,
going forward. 'cause
it
technically
just doesn't
it's
even
a-
make sense.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons,
Okay.
but, because but if someone's. So if there's a property that is not allowed to have that kind of thing, and they keep coming back and say, well, it's temporary special event, temporary, it's like, no, you wanna have. This is a special thing, you can
Right.
do it here, but you can't repeatedly come in. And essentially turn a parcel of land into
An
something
event
that is event venue, unless you actually do come in and get
Right.
a true permit that makes that comply with zoning, which is used ongoing.
Which is the Cardinals, yeah, they turned the barn into a wedding, but they got a special.
They need a special use permit
Yeah.
because they're gonna do that on a repeated basis.
Exactly,
Gotcha.
so,
So this really, and also. This also. Covers things that are being done on public property, which is completely outside the purview of zoning. If somebody wants to do something. On this public streets, zoning doesn't encompass that at all. But there needs to be some process in the town. Where you can. Evaluate these things and if you want to give permission to do them, but it's not the purview of zoning.
Works walks or the
yeah,
road jam fest that are happening on town streets.
So there are a lot of issues where it was being done. But the other thing is, with a special use permit, as I said, they exist in perpetuity. The zoning board has no authority to put a durational limit on a special use permit unless the zoning code itself makes a specific provision for durational limits, and your code doesn't. So there isn't any authority at all for the zoning board to say you can do a 2-day or a 5-day or even a 1-year permit. It's just so this has been ongoing for who knows how many years.
yeah,
But
So-
it's not proper.
thank you for helping us clean up. Any other, just questions?
I don't have the law in front of me, but does it, is there a limit to the number of people?
Not within the law, but within your judgment, it is that, as I said, it says that. If the town board determines that the location is suitable and appropriate for the proposed event. With consideration given to the event's character and duration, it will not create a substantial inconvenience or annoyance for the residents of the town or the public. It doesn't create a public hazard. You can factor that in. If you think that the overall impact of it. Is to impact, another one is that. that authorization should be subject to any conditions the town board deems necessary or appropriate to ensure the safety of the event, and prevent or mitigate disruption or adverse impacts upon nearby properties, the community, the town, its residents, and the general public. So if you feel a thing is inappropriate based on its size, given its location, you can just simply not approve the event. There's no,
But what is the process for actually like limiting and enforcing? I mean, it seems to me like number of attendees is like, should be like a key threshold or,
well, that.
part
you have
of the
the
review
authority-
and
Well, you have,
determination.
you do have the authority to set those kinds of limits because,
Okay.
because this. The events
So
could be
that
anywhere.
goes, that gets adopted as kind of a policy, not.
Well, it's a case by case because it depends where it's gonna be. You know, if you're looking at a parcel that can accommodate a large number of people, you can okay that. If they're trying to do something that is inappropriate, out of proportion for where they're trying to do it, it's entirely within your discretion to say, no, you can't do that there. Or you can't have this many people there. You can have 200 people here, you know, but these are the conditions you can.
Oh, okay, so we have that
You
authority.
do have, you have great discretion to
Okay,
grant or deny these things based on the overall impacts that you think they might have, but the guidelines are that they're not supposed to have major impacts on people. But you can weigh, you know, the duration, the number of people, the location, all of these things, and ultimately decide it's okay, this is fine, what you propose is okay for where it is and for how long you're gonna do it, or you can say, no, that's inappropriate, it's too big, or you can say it can only be for this duration, or it can only have this many people. You have the discretion under the law and make sure that anybody who comes in and wants to do a special event is doing something that
Right,
is not inappropriately
okay,
disruptive.
I have a,
You can put a
yeah,
conditions on it to ensure.
Joanna?
so when we had Gray Fox happen in Hillsdale, it took place on 15 acres. And it lasted 2 to 3 days. Let's say 4,000 people came through that festival. They weren't all there at the same time. Let's say somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 a day, but total 4,000 over 3 to 4 days. So how do we determine as town board going forward with these events? I guess when the organizer comes forward
Right,
with a site plan and the
Right.
expected ticket sales and the parking and the traffic, we can determine
Yeah.
what happens.
it's
Okay,
by
I'm
case
clear.
basis.
I'm clear.
It's similar in a way to what the zoning board's been doing, except they don't have any authority. to do
Right,
it.
gotcha.
We're just take
Okay.
proper authority,
And
Okay.
okay,
but I still don't understand what this resolution is, like, why, like,
well, it's,
why wouldn't we just use this authority to designate certain events as type 2 actions? Why would we pass this resolution? I don't really understand.
because
In the
the law, it's pretty clear that we're making a determination based on the temporary nature of anything that we would approve, that it would be a type 2, so we do not have to do a seeker every time